Hi everyone. So just want to make a video about overt and covert harassment. And as you guys can see this symbol, this is actually, I don't think I was aware of this before I knew I was being targeted. But this is on the back of the dollar bill. Um, and we know what this stands for, right? This occultist symbol right here. But yeah, anyway, just want to talk about overt and covert harassment. This is probably going to be a brief video. It might turn into a 10 or 15-minute video. We'll see. Um, so I'm going to start with overt harassment. And these are the type of behaviors that are, literally in your face. They go against our social norms. They are immoral, illegal. It's the type of actions that are more visible to our surroundings, especially if you're a target and there are other people that may be witnesses to what's going on. Um, and they would be able to see that type of harassment, overt harassment. Um, Covert harassment is the opposite. It's seen as harmless. Um, it's innocuous. It's more of a nuisance to a target as opposed to overt harassment, right? With covert harassment, if there are any other witnesses around the target, they would say something like, nothing happened, just ignore it. Nothing's going on here. So that would be the type of response they would give. And I'm going to use some examples that pertain to me. So I'm going to go with, let's do overt harassment. I'm going to use a couple of examples regarding overt harassment. So this occurred July 2020. I was walking to the store and I saw this asshole cross the street. He had snippers in his hands, right? As he began crossing the street, he raised his hand and he threatened me with the snippers. He exclaimed, "I'll stab you, I'll stab you." And I remember thinking, what's wrong with this guy? Is he mentally unstable? What's going on here? There's so many people around us, and he has to, threaten me. Did I do something to him? Um, I barely looked at that guy. I've done nothing to him. I've done nothing to provoke him. And he's threatening me with pretty much a weapon. It was the type of snippers that you could use to cut branches. There were large snippers, and yeah, you you could hurt with somebody because they could have been used as a weapon. That's for sure. Anyway, he passed me, and this was before I actually knew I was being targeted. So I'm actually gonna summarize the next part. I called the police on him. They asked if I wanted to press charges. I said yes. Um, they responded with, "We'll go find him." They looked for him. 10 minutes later, I saw 3 or 4 police vehicles, just driving by me. They failed to acknowledge me, just drove by. And that was assault. At the very least, that was assault. In the state where I live, it's a definition of assault. So And you think to yourself, how am I supposed to trust law enforcement when they do something like that? I mean, they're supposed to be there to protect you, right? They're supposed to be there to serve and protect. Anyway, so that's an example of overt harassment. In your face, where other people can spot that type of behavior. Like I said, I didn't even know I was being targeted at that time. If I caught that on camera, he probably would have been in big trouble. So he would have been exposed, that's for sure. Second example I want to use, and this is more recent. This is more serious as well. So I was biking, and I remember being at a red light, just standing there waiting for the light to turn green. Next thing I remember hearing is a vehicle behind me. It was I don't remember what type of make or model. Looked like it was a white Honda or a Toyota. So the vehicle first began honking at me, beep beep, and I remember thinking, what's the hell is wrong with this guy? What's his problem? The light is red. Why is he honking at me? I turned around. I looked at him, and he bumped his car into my bike for no reason, unprovoked, for no reason. It was two individuals inside that vehicle, black male and black female. They are lucky the camera was not recording. Otherwise, I would have walked into the police station with the evidence, and I would have posted their information online as well. But yeah, that's also an example of aggravated assault. It could be a misdemeanor, it could also be a felony. So yeah, they bumped into my bike and then they drove off. And there were witnesses too that saw what happened. Totally unprovoked, uncalled for. So this is a second example of overt harassment, right? Out in the open, more easily to spot. And for me, I remember it's easy for me to distinguish or, between the two, because overt harassment, I look at that first letter O, and I think it's out in the open, overt harassment, as opposed to covert. It's quite the opposite, or it could be quite the opposite. So covert harassment, so a few examples I want to share, and I'm sure a lot of real targets can relate. If you're a fake target, I couldn't care less. You can burn in hell. But for all the real targets, I'm pretty sure you can relate when you go to the store, to shop, to spend money, and strange things begin happening. So, for example, right, you go into the store. Well, I'm gonna use my own examples. I went to the store. This happened about a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago. I don't recall exactly when. I went into the store. I was getting some hot bars, some hot food, and I saw this guy, right? Standing there. He's looking in my direction. I don't know if he was um, looking at me at first, or he was, surveilling me or spying on me. But he was looking in my direction. I thought it was strange. his body posture, the way he was positioned. So as I walked away, I began walking in another direction. And when I turned, he turned as well. He turned and he began, looking in a direction where I was walking. And I thought it was strange. Then I remember thinking, well, he's probably a perp, you know. He was probably told to stand there and illegally surveil me or spy on me. So that would be an example of covert harassment. And another strange thing happened as I was walking out that store. When I paid for everything, I'm walking out, right? And I see this vehicle. It was standing right next to the doors, as if some kind of accident occurred. And there were people, standing next to the vehicle, saying things like, and I have this on video. And they were saying, "Oh, police is coming! Just stand there! Just stand there!" And it just appeared that the vehicle crashed into the doors, or there was some type of an accident. Um, that's more of a street theater or a skit, if it was actually designed for me. But I think this would be covert harassment as well. Unless you understand their tactics, you would think nothing of it. It's just a random event that happened. That had nothing to do with me or you. But I walk out the store 30 seconds. 30 seconds later, this vehicle is on the side of the road, like nothing happened. Just standing there on the side of the road. I don't see any police, no law enforcement, nothing at all, no one. So I thought that was strange. Another example of covert harassment is, so a couple of weeks ago, I would be standing at the self-checkout, checking out, and this happened more than once. I'm checking out, somebody's walking by, or somebody's standing next to me checking out, begins dropping items on the floor. I had one guy walking by me, he dropped a package of fruit and then continued to walk, right? As if he didn't notice that he dropped something. So I didn't say anything to him. Just wondering if he would turn around and realize that he dropped something, but he just continued to walk. So, and there's another person. She went over to a self-checkout, and as I was checking out, she began, dropping stuff on the floor. So, just perpetual type of behavior, you see. That's another example of covert harassment. I just thought of another example of covert harassment. So I'm walking on the sidewalk, just minding my own business. I look to my left and I see this police vehicle, right? Police vehicle pulls up, and as I'm walking, they're driving right next to me on the side, to my left. And it's just strange. You're looking at them and they're driving right next to you in a creepy way, and slowly, Then I actually took out my phone. I began recording them. I began taking pictures. The two cops inside the vehicle made an improper and illegal U-turn and then drove off. It was dark out, but I do believe they saw me taking uh, pictures or videos of them, and they drove off at that point. So okay, this video is about 15 minutes long. But that's all I wanted to share. Covert versus overt harassment. I think I'll do a video. I think I'll do a video about psyops, black ops um, later on. So we'll see. All right, but this is it for now. You guys have a good day and God bless.